and welcome to Live Stream, the show that is all about you, the space where you can make your voice heard. This is the half hour where we move away from the politics, we move away from the sensationalism to talk about issues that matter directly to you. Now, for lakhs of students around the country, it's that dreaded time of the year again. It's board examination time. On the 5th of March, over 16 lakh students across India will be appearing for the CBSE Class 10 board examinations, which are back after an 8-year-long hiatus. And that means it's a little more of an unknown quantity for teachers, for parents, and of course, for students. The ICSE Class 10 examinations already underway. The state board exams are happening concurrently. Well, this evening, we're joined by experts to talk about the A to Z of exam stress, all the tips that you need to know, with less than a week to go for exams, and for some of you, just days before your next exam. So call us at 837708 8377. If you can get that up on our screens, that line goes live right now. So pick up your phone, call us. You can also shoot a video of yourself asking your question or making your comment and WhatsApp that to us on 837708 8377. That number is live right now. So an easy number to remember, once again, 837708 8377. You can also tweet us on our handle at NDTV live stream. We're being joined this evening by Amita Mullah Wattal, Principal of Springdale's Pusa Road, Rohit Kumar, Counsellor and co-founder of Family Vision, somebody who works with schools to counsel students and teachers, is also with us this evening. In fact, we can go across straight ahead to our first query, which is in fact coming in from a principal of Open Minds School in Gaya. This is Abhishek Bagchi with his question.
Hello, this is Abhishek Bagchi, principal of Open Minds School in Gaya. It's a builder school. So if you ask me, I would say relax. Yes, that's number one, but it is not easy to relax. Everyone will tell you to relax. So the best thing to do is to think that this is not the end of life. No matter what you do in this examination, good or bad, it's not going to determine how or what you're going to become in your future. So hold on. This is just an examination. You have already given several examinations in your life. You will be given lots of other examinations in your life. So this is just another examination. No matter what you do, the near and the dear ones will always love you.
Right, that an important message coming there from another principal who sent us that video this evening. Something that I want to take across to Amita Wattal also. But I also want to bring in a note of caution over here. It's all very well to say, you know, that your family loves you. You can sort of get that kind of support from your family. But those who are appearing for the CBSE Class 10 examinations this year, do you believe there is a greater amount of stress simply because this examination is taking place after this gap of 7 or 8 years? Many people have opted out of it these years. So is this a bit of an unknown quantity for teachers, for parents, for students?
I really don't think, firstly, that it's an unknown quantity for teachers, because teachers have been having it for so many years. But yes, I think as far as parents and students are concerned, unfortunately, there's a certain anxiety that they're facing. But I would like to reiterate that it is a celebration of the learning that has been happening over a period of time, and it's something that they should not fear. In fact, they should go ahead and be able to cope with it, because most of them, all of them, are good in what they do. So they have to understand that it's merely a culmination of what they've learned, and that isn't such a big deal. So they have to get away from this whole, this whole anxiety that they are facing right now, and just relax a little about that.
All right. It's easier said than done, Rohit. And, you know, as somebody who deals with students, you talk to them, you have workshops with them right through the year, not just before the examinations. But at the end of the day, it's really now the business end of the deal, as it were. 5 days to go for the CBSE students. The ICSE students are already in the middle of their exams. At this point, what kind of advice would you offer them?
I would tell them to have faith in themselves, believe that they have actually done what they could, and don't listen too much to your peers and to the other students who talk about, you know, they've studied 15 hours a day, 20 hours a day, 24 hours a day. They should just trust that they have done their best and they will do fine.
They will do fine. Okay, let's get a few more questions in. We have some video calls from more students around the country. I believe we have a question now from Sridhar, whose son actually is appearing for these board examinations. So this is a concerned parent. Sridhar, go ahead.
Hi, this is Sridhar from Hyderabad. Tackling examination stress is not a big problem. It has to be planned properly. According to me, the time parents spend with the children, with the students, is very important. Number one. Most importantly, which is time tested and practiced by me, especially with my children, that one has to take up some physical activity, preferably an active sport, outdoor sport. That really brings down a lot of stress level in the children and they get completely rejuvenated and they're ready for the examination. I think it's a very important thing that child has to take up some outdoor activities and keep themselves fit and fine for the exams. Good luck to the children.
All right, we're getting lots of advice, not as many questions, but I believe we now have a student who's actually appearing for the exam. Aks Arora is on the phone line. Aks, go ahead and ask your question for our experts.
Yes, so my name is Aks Arora. I study in Genesis Global School and I'm in class 8D. So my question was that I had a debate today and my question was that we know that in 2019, NCERT has taken a decision to cut down the syllabus to half. And some people are saying that it is one of the best measures to reduce the stress of a child. So does our esteemed guest believe that it is the best measure and the short measure and there is no alternative source? This is my first question. The second part to this question is that Albert Einstein once said that education is not the learning of facts, it is the training of the mind to think. So how do we implement this idea and how do we tell this to the students, because most of the students only memorize the facts, and how do we tell them?
That's a very fair question. Aks, you know, you're clearly planning ahead. This show was perhaps meant for people who are actually appearing for the boards soon. You still have 2 years to go, but hey, you know, preparation is what counts. Amita Vatal, would you want to respond to both parts of that question, but particularly taking on the second part where, you know, it's really quite a fundamental question about rote learning. Why should it all boil down to this one terminal examination when really learning ought to be about a continuous process?
No, I agree entirely, and in fact I thought one of the best things that could be happening is looking at the way we are looking at the textbook and doing away with the kind of heavy information that is really not required, which lies in textbooks. But having said that, right now we are addressing a situation where young children are going into an examination in the next 4 to 5 days, and I think the most important thing now is to eat well, to hydrate yourself, to have periods of rest, and also to do some amount of time management, which helps a lot in de-stressing. And I think this is very essential as to how we go forward when we look at how we're going to present the paper, how we're going to sort of make it simpler for us, how we're going to answer questions, and how we're not going to get stressed out in the hall. And I think it's very important that if we follow a few of these techniques, the examination will really be a lark. Right now it's an unknown situation, but I assure you that the first day that they have their examination, once they come out of it, they feel so much more relaxed. I've seen it because I've always been outside the hall when children leave the examination hall on the first day after the boards, and they just come out saying it's not what we thought.
Right,
it was not so,
a lot of it is
it was
in
not
mind.
so tense.
Rohit, would you agree with
it
that?
was not
That, you know,
what
we
we
build
thought.
it up in our minds as parents,
as
students, we build it up as this sort of great monster. And really, you know, what you need to do is probably think of it as something far more handleable in a sense.
Can I answer that with a short poem?
Okay, sure.
I found the task that I had dreaded was not so difficult when once begun. It was the dread itself that was the foe, and dread once conquered meant a victory won. Things are never as bad as you think they are going to be. There's just one little bit of advice I'd like to give all of you. Please get enough sleep. Don't sacrifice on your sleep. I agree with what the gentleman earlier said about getting enough, physical activity, but don't skimp on your sleep. When you sleep, your brain actually manages to clear up and sort all that information that you've learned.
Okay, we have another caller. Simi Prakash is calling from Delhi. She's a teacher in class 12, but she's also a parent of a boy in class 10 who's taking the board examinations this year. Simi, go ahead with your question.
Hi, good evening, ma'am. I just wanted to ask, because many of the parents also in PTM, they come and they ask the question, because most of the students these days are addicted with their mobile phones. So whenever they want to relax, they just want to open their mobile phones and play video games.
Right.
The same is here with my kid also. So how to de-addict them? Whenever I tell them to relax and just sleep or take a nap or just read a storybook. But the complaint is that the parents also come to me complaining the same thing, how to de-addict the students from the mobile phone.
Okay, that's a very good question. Simi, just hold on, because I do want to take one more caller before I let our experts answer that question. Angel calling us from Indore in Madhya Pradesh. Go ahead, Angel.
Ma'am, I have two questions. The first is how to tackle the stress the day before the exam.
Okay.
How should we tackle? What should we do a day before exam?
All right. Okay, fair enough. So, Amita Vatal, if you would like to take that first question first. Mobile phone addiction is something that perhaps parents are now dealing with more than ever before. This is a generation that is addicted to their device, who probably have shorter attention spans, and that could possibly be a problem as well when you're studying for examinations and when you actually have to sit and write an exam for 3 hours. What would you say?
No, this is not really the time to sort of start de-addicting them, because after all, that should have been done long ago. But right now, if you're going to take away things from their comfort zone and we're going to take away things, it'll seem like a punishment. It'll create more stress for the students. So if a child feels that if he wants a little bit of a break after half an hour or 1 hour and wants to look at a video or wants to play a game, I don't think it's such a big deal right now. That is another thing we can tackle later about how we de-addict children. And yes, there are issues about that. So this is what I feel about the first question. The second question is, as I said, just a day before the examination, one just does a kind of an overview of what one has learned, spends a little bit of time with the family, eats well, gets a good night's sleep, and hydrates themselves. I think it's important to have lots of fluids, to do a lot of deep breathing exercises, to just look at a bird's view of the syllabus, and I think that's it. But one shouldn't go beyond that, because whatever had to be is already there, and you just now have to go to the hall in the morning. So take rest, take good night's sleep, and it'll be fine.
Rohit, is that something you would agree with?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a very good point. In fact, just a little friendly word of advice to the parents. Please encourage your children, keep your own stress levels and your own tension to yourself, and speak faith to the children. Assure them that they'll be fine, because many times children end up suffering from second-hand stress. That would be my request.